everyone, hi students. This is English 4th grade of secondary and the topic is Review Session A, chapters 19, 20, and 21. This is the fourth term. So let's start watching a video.
Today we're going to learn about the second conditional. We use the second conditional in hypothetical situations. The formula is if plus subject plus past verb, comma, subject plus would, could, might, or may plus base verb. For example, if I won the lottery, I would quit my job. Here we see if plus the subject, I, plus the past verb, won, which is the past of win, then the subject again, the modal verb, would, and the base verb, quit. Let's practice. If I had $1 million, I would travel around the world. Here we use the past tense of have, which is had, the modal verb would, and the base verb travel. Let's look at another example. If he ate healthy food, he could lose weight. We use ate, the past tense of eat, the modal verb could, and base verb lose. Another example. If he practiced more, he might be the best on the team. Here we use practiced, the past tense of practice, the modal verb might, and the base verb be. Here's a few to try on your own. If he asked me to go on a date with him, I would say yes. She would be very angry if she knew the truth. If we had more money, we could stay in a nice hotel. If I knew his phone number, I would call him.
Okay guys, so as you can see, the video was about the use of the second conditional, right? And something important that we need to remember is that the second conditional is used to talk about imaginary situations, okay? So look at here, it says uses the past simple after if, then use the modal auxiliary would and the infinitive. So this is the structure. If plus past simple, comma, would plus infinitive. Okay? Look at here. We can use to talk about things in the future that are probably not going to be true. Okay? And also in the present, for example, maybe I'm imagining some dream. For example, she would travel all over the world if she were rich. Okay? In this case, you can see the result at the beginning. Okay? Because remember that the second conditional has two parts. The result and the condition. Okay? You can start with the condition and then the result. But in this case, as you can see, you are using first the result and then the condition. Okay, so let's move on to this practice number 1, where it says complete the sentences with the correct form of the verbs. If I had some, I would start my own business. If I had some money, I would start my own business. Okay? Here I'm using the comma because I'm starting with the conditional. Okay? Number 2, what would she do if she saw Jefferson Farfán? Okay? Number 3, if students from 4th grade didn't have exams, they would be happy. Number 4, if you could choose any career, what would you choose? Number 5, we would travel around all South America if we had money. And finally, number 6, if he studied harder, he'd pass his tests. Okay? Very good, guys. So now let's move on to practice number 2. Okay? It says correct the words below. Okay? So look at here. Number 1. It should be cost. Okay? And this is vocabulary about money. For example, number 2 is incorrect. It should be invest. What about number 3? The correct one is borrow. Number 4, earn. Number 5, afford. Number 6, waste. And number 7 should be forget. Okay? Great. Now, let's see here. It says practice number 3. Match the statement with the response. Match the statement with the responses. Okay? So look at here this first example. Last year, I jumped off that big rock into the river. That was dangerous. You might have hurt yourself. Okay, so this is a response to that situation. Okay, number 3, let's see here. Our flight was late and we didn't get home until 4 a.m. Oh dear, you must have been exhausted. The next one. I'm going to try bungee jumping. That's crazy, you could be killed. Next one. I've just seen a man robbing the bank. You can't be serious. I've just got a wonderful new job. That's great, you must be really happy. And finally, I told Scott I was breaking up with him. Okay? Excellent, guys. So now, here in practice number 4 says choose the correct answer. Okay? And as you can see, you have 5 questions with 2 options each one. Number 1 says, I can't come to the meeting on Saturday. Please, can we put it off? Okay? Number 2. Would you buy a bigger house if you won $1 million? In this case, it's second conditional, okay? Number 3, she would have more money if she gave up her job. Number 4, to stop global warming, we need to cut back on wasting energy. Number 5, what would you do if you lost your cell phone? Excellent. So now practice number 5 that says complete each sentence using must have can't have, or might have. In this case, guys, remember that we are talking about the modals of deduction, okay? And something important to remember is when we use must is because we are really sure that something is true, okay? That something is true in a 100%, okay? The can't, it means that you are really sure that something is not true, okay? You are really sure that something is not true. And might, it means that you are in a 50% of certain, okay? So number 1 says, do you know where Emma is? No, but she's got an essay, so she might have gone to the library, okay? 50%. Number 2, we all the tea yet. I only made it 5 minutes ago. We can have used, okay? Number 3, did you see her gold ring? It must have cost at least $5,000. Number 4, Anthony's very late. She must have missed the train. Number 5, why did you touch the broken glass? You might have cut yourself. And number 6, I can't see them anywhere. They must have gone to their house. Correct? Now let's do practice number 6. It says complete the sentences using the correct adjectives. Okay? Which adjectives do we have here? We have citizen, fit-in, costume, expatriate, settle down, and immigration. Okay, so number 1 says, to make yourself comfortable in a place, settle down. Number 2, someone who lives in a country that is not their native country. So that is expatriate. Number 3, someone who has the right to live permanently in a particular place. That is citizen. Number 4, to be accepted by a group of people. That is fitting. Number 5, something that people do that is traditional. That is costume. And finally, the process in which people enter a country in order to live there, immigration. Okay? Now, guys, practice number 7 says, fill in the blanks with the correct option. Number 1, he bought a new cell phone if he didn't the job. So here the option is letter A. Okay? Number 2, if we finish the project on time. The option here is letter A. Number 3, if I time tomorrow, I help you. Option letter B. Number 4, what they do if they the bus. That is option letter C. Number 5, I think we a cake for the party if we time. That is option letter C. And finally, number 6, if I money, I a house. And the option is letter V. Okay, now in practice number 8, we need to match with the correct word. Okay, for example, number 1 says in the same boat. Remember that those are idioms, okay? Idioms. Number 2, see red. Blue in the face. Go back to square 1. Give you a hand and see eye to eye. Very good. Now, in practice number 9, you need to read this text and complete the sentences. Okay, pay attention to the reading because according to this, we will answer some questions. A Chinese woman had lived in Australia for a few years. On her birthday, she was invited to the home of an Australian friend to celebrate. When she was presented with a gift, she thanked her friend and put the gift away. Her friend asked, "Aren't you going to open it?" The Chinese lady said, "Oh no, I don't want to open it now." In Chinese culture, one is not expected to open a gift immediately after receiving it. In Australian culture, however, the opposite is true. There are other rules about gift giving in Chinese culture. It is important, for example, to avoid giving umbrellas, knives, scissors, and clocks. Iranian culture has its rules too. Amanda, a young North American woman, went to home of her fiance's sister. She saw a small statue, and when she said she liked it, the sister insisted to give her. Why? Many Middle Easterners feel obligated to give something to someone who admires it. Amanda didn't want to accept the statue, but Fariba, the sister, kept insisting. Amanda should have kept on refusing. Iranians may keep on insisting, but you are under no obligation to accept. Very good, guys. So now let's read the options and complete the sentences, okay? Number 1 says, according to the rules of Australian culture, the Chinese lady should have opened the gift at the party. Number 2, in Chinese culture, it's not expected to open the gift immediately. In Chinese culture, it's important to avoid giving umbrellas, knives, scissors, and clocks. Number 4, Amanda didn't want to accept the statue. And number 5, many Middle Easterners feel obligated to give something to someone who admires it. So now, guys, in practice number 11, we need to listen to the audio and read and write true or false or not in text. Okay? Please pay attention because then we need to choose the best answer to these statements. Okay?
Unit 10, page 67, listening.
So, Manuel, you went on vacation to Europe last summer. How was it?
It was great. I went on a bus tour and visited many countries.
That sounds exciting.
Yes, it was. First, we flew to London and went sightseeing. I saw Big Ben and the London Eye and Buckingham Palace, of course.
Was the Queen there?
I don't think so. I didn't see her. Anyway, then we went by bus to Paris. We stayed there for one day and visited a lot of museums. I went to the top of the Eiffel Tower.
Wow! What was the view like?
Amazing! Then we drove to Switzerland and I went hiking in the mountains near Lucerne. And after that was Italy, Florence, Rome, and Venice.
Oh, Venice. It's my favorite city.
Really? I loved it. I bought a lot of souvenirs there. And then we came back through Innsbruck in Austria. I had a guided tour of the city, and then in Germany, I went on a cruise on the Rhine, near Bonn.
Wow! What was that like?
I'm not sure. I fell asleep. We finished in Amsterdam, in Holland. I ate a lot of cheese and flew back from there.
That's a big trip.
Yes, all in 8 days. It was hard, but a lot of fun.
Okay, guys, so now let's answer these questions, okay? Manuel went on vacation on Aisha last summer, so that is false. Number 2, he went to Venezia by bus. That is false. 3, he gets along well with her boss and co-workers. That is not in test. Number 4, he'd like to go jogging every day if she had the time. That is not in text. And finally, he finished in Amsterdam in Holland. That is true, okay? Guys, thank you very much for paying attention to this presentation and see you in the next opportunity. Bye bye.